Christos Anesti, Christ is risen. This is Father Jonathan, and I wanted to continue our conversation around the first of the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, we've talked about what it means to be in poverty of spirit, to be completely dependent upon God. We've talked about what is a healthy way of doing that and what is an unhealthy way of doing that. We've talked about allowing the gifts, the free gifts of God, because everything is gift of God, to not become things that possess us instead of being our possessions. And we do this by using them properly. And today, I wanted to talk about ways in which we can cultivate a way of being in the world, a manner of being in the world, that allows us to cultivate poverty of spirit and ultimately inherit the kingdom of heaven, as Christ indicates in the Beatitude. Now, while all is gift, we can misuse the gifts that God has freely given us. As we said, we can substitute the Creator with the creature, slipping into idolatry in the process. Today, we will reflect on some practices that we can perform to cultivate this poverty of spirit. They're pretty simple, but also with a remarkable depth, and they shouldn't be unfamiliar to us if we are practitioners of Orthodox Christian faith. And these practices are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Now, in saying those, you might be thinking to yourself, Father Jonathan, you talk about these three practices all the time as things to do to address a number of issues. Why do you keep doing that? And I would respond simply by saying, yes, you are correct. We do talk about these three all the time. However, that is because they are such good tools for cultivating the virtues. They're tools, in this case, for helping us cultivate poverty of spirit. Now, prayer has two parts. There's prayer of thanksgiving, and there's prayer of doxology. And both are connected to our understanding of absolute dependency on God and the reality that all is gift. We depend fully on God for our very being, and all that we have is gift. So our immediate response, the natural response to our own existence because of how we were made and how we are sustained, is gratitude and glory, thanksgiving, Eucharistia, and giving glory, doxologia. This is what we are called to, and this is how we respond. And so in doing so, in being grateful and giving glory to God for what we have received, we get in a habit of understanding in a healthy way how dependent we are on Him for our own existence, which is important as we are cultivating this reality through when we seek to be or seek to have poverty of spirit. Now, another thing that helps us along this way is fasting. And it's not just fasting from food, but it's understanding how we can moderate the use of things that we have. Food is just a prime example, but we can do it with a lot of things. We can fast from the ways in which we use things to excess. And in doing so, we can realize that although we might desire food or drink or a certain thing, we don't have to be possessed by that desire. We don't have to do it unthinkingly. We don't have to partake unthinkingly of it. Because we can recognize that although everything is gift and freely given, part of poverty of spirit is understanding its proper use. It's not simply about having or possessing. It's about utilizing what has been given to us freely to cultivate in us an openness to relationship with God, first and foremost, and our neighbor. And fasting can help us do this because it gives us a pause from the immediate consumption or receiving of something unthinkingly. And finally, almsgiving. As we refrain from partaking through fasting, whether it's fasting from food or fasting from our use of something, we also have a surplus that we can give to the other. And when we can realize that things don't matter, even though they're gifts, they only matter in as much as we are using them to God's glory. Because all is gift. We are absolutely dependent on God in all things. Therefore, those things that we have in abundance, in excess, are not ours in the first place. Not even are the things that we need ultimately ours, but they are freely given to us to sustain us, to preserve us, to allow us to do good works to God's glory in thanksgiving. And so almsgiving reminds us that all we have is gift, and therefore a good response to receiving gift is to give gift to those who need. And almsgiving is the way in which we do that. Giving to the poor, not just things, but time, attention, to be in relationship with the other, to be poor in spirit, to be absolutely dependent on God, to cultivate that reality is also to cultivate a sense of need to be in relationship with God and with our neighbor. And ultimately, as we will discuss tomorrow, that is what the kingdom of heaven truly is. It is a relationship with God, it is union with God, communion with God, and also communion with the rest of creation. God bless you. We're here for you. We love you. Don't hesitate to reach out. Send us a message on social media. Leave a comment in the comments section. Give us a call. Email us. Whatever you need, we're here for you. Don't forget to submit names for our evening prayer services at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. You can submit those names on our website, www.htgo.org. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel to make sure that you are getting all the updates on these videos that we're posting. Again, we love you. We're here for you. Christos Anesti, Christ is risen.